Oh, okay. So Jack Nash says he says that he's a regular viewer from the UK and he's working on a 45-minute stop motion film. Wow. And he's working in 3ds Max to create about 40 different printed mouse shapes. Printed replaceable mouths would be a useful conversation topic. Yeah, we've talked about those in the past. Um, Basically, let me see. Oh, why is that gotta be there like that? All right, I can close that anyway. We've talked about that in the past, and Alba from Time Space Reflections, and I don't know if you guys have. Well, I'm sure you've probably seen. If you watch my show, you've probably seen some of her videos. Alba Garcia, where she had actually created in Blender some replacement faces, which were printed at a company called Shapeways, I think. I'm not sure if it was Shapeways or another one, but it's a really cool way to make faces for sure. It absolutely is. Um, Not really sure what more I can talk about in it with regards to that, but 3ds Max, ZBrush, Blender. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. And 3D printers, I'm a huge fan of that. So, but yeah, I talked about it a lot. So I don't know if you guys want me to repeat everything, but maybe we could do that for a future show. Maybe we should probably have a future show where we talk about new technologies, and it'd be cool to have a guest on too that could talk about those kinds of programs, because I've never used 3ds Max. It's always been out of my reach financially to afford something like that, and I try not to use sites that you can get it for free. But so anyway, guys, moving along now. I just did want to make mention of our monthly challenges. So we have a week left, and the topic is snow. And I don't know if that's kind of probably a hard topic, I think, for a lot of people, because snow is something that's hard to animate in stop motion. So how would you go about that? Is that's a tough one. But I think, let's see. I know that Sean, you're working on something, but I don't know who else is. Hopefully more people are. But definitely try to get something done here quickly if you can, if you are working on a challenge entry, because a week is not a very long time. And it's been 5 weeks already, so, but we'll see. And so next week what we'll do is we will be, of course, showing those live on the air and judging which one is the nicest. Okay, and actually, one more thing I should probably say about that is, if you want to find out more information, just go to our site and click on live show right there. Or monthly challenges, sorry. Live show for our live show information and monthly challenges here. And Sean says, still working on my challenge. Yeah, I'm interested to see what you come up with, because snow it's a really tough topic. Especially if you think about puppets walking in snow, or building a snowman or something. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do it, a lot of different ways. Okay, so, and also, Sean, he, oh, Ron Cole is here. Hey, Ron. Oh, is that what it was? No reminder today, huh? Maybe it's because YouTube is slow. I don't know. So we were actually just talking about the topics, different topics that let me see here. Whoop, here we go. Let me click this. That Sean actually made mention of, and I asked, we have a live show and we're now on 45 minutes, and does anybody have a topic they'd like me to talk about? And so Sean posted a link to Armikrog, and so I actually went through and I did some research, because the last time we talked about Armikrog was in 2013, believe it or not. It's already been that long. And it was a really cool looking project, and they raised like $900,000, I think, for it. And I know I brought up their Kickstarter here. Here we go. almost $1 million, and they probably did raise $1 million. And the reason why I say that is because I noticed down below here that people were still able to support Armikrog through PayPal. I think it's PayPal donations. So it's possible they raised maybe $1 million for this. And so I just, I didn't really forget about it, but I didn't really keep it in the back of my mind because I knew that it was going to take them a couple of years to make. And then, of course, Sean said, hey, check out this project, and sent the link. And let me see here. Is this the same site? It is. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, so here's the link. And it's of an interview, and it's Mike Dietz, founder of Pentel Test Studios, on everything related to Armikrog. And so this you can go to gamingbolt.com, or possibly just do a Google search for Armikrog interview and look that up on Google and click on the news link. So Ron is saying that something might be screwy with the internet because there's a pool game I play online and the game went haywire tonight and people there are panicking. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure. It seems like some of the sites that I visit are a little bit weird and slow lately too. I don't know if that's something to do with like the overall internet, or if it's just because those sites are busy or something. I don't know. But at least these pages work. But Twitch didn't work, and I couldn't get that to load up for you guys. So it might be something on the East Coast or whatever. But Armikrog is a really cool game. Now, I know that Doug TenNapel had posted, like I said, in 2013 on his Facebook page, a lot of stuff about this. And why don't we watch the video to actually get a better clue as to what this was about here.
Okay, Beak.
I'm just glad we're still alive.
Yeah, me too. Now, let's get a look at the hull. Yeah, this does not look good.
I don't think our part insurance is gonna cover this. Our deductible is nuts, too.
Beak, look at that. What do you make of this guy?
Ooh, an omelet.
Ooh!
Give me a hand!
The game has got a space explorer named Tommyknot. He has this blind alien dog that's kind of like his drinking buddy. His name is Beak. They crash land on a weird planet and end up locked in this mysterious fortress called Armikrog. But it's a point-and-click adventure game shot in stop-motion puppet animation and primarily made for PCs and Macs. Need I say more?
As you can see, we put the experience of the art first. We want every frame to be loaded with unique but approachable visuals, funky style, and fun creatures. The game not only features our animation, but has the voice work of Riff Track's Michael J. Nelson, Pinky and the Brain's Rob Paulson, PvP's Scott Kurtz, Napoleon Dynamite's John Heater, and Techzilla's Veronica Belmont. And finally, we're bringing back the Neverhood's Terry Taylor to write a brand new, completely original game score.
But I want to put that aside for a second. I want to talk about why we really work together. It's because we're pals, we're friends, and we bring out the very best from each other.
We realize the fun we have working together manifests itself into the games that we make. We've heard over the years from fans that the games always make them laugh and they have a great time.
We learn from each other. These guys taught me how to animate, how to create, and we make each other better.
So here's the deal. We've already started on a lot of the designs. We've worked through a lot of the puzzles already, but this game will never happen without your help.
This game isn't going to get made by a major publisher. This is one where we have to go directly to our fans and ask them for help if it's going to get made. So if you want this kind of a game, then believe me, this is the only way it's going to happen. And in advance, I can only say thank you.
All right. So that was the video, and it's great that they actually raised so much money, and it's like the style is really cool and it's fun. It's unique and kind of like the game we just mentioned before. It's in stop motion, and it's how many stop motion video games are there? There's not that many out there. So I guess a lot of people liked the fact that it was unique and a different style. And let me go down here now. Where was that? There's actually, oh, here we go. There's actually some more videos, and trying to think which ones I should show. Let me go on here. Oh, okay. So this one here is actually a new one, and it's called Giving Life to Tommyknot. So this is the latest video that they've released. So let's see if I can get this one to load up. Okay, here we go.
Armikrog is a point-and-click adventure game realized in stop-motion animation. This is Tommyknot, the main character from Armikrog. He was a creation of our pal Douglas Tenaple. We were getting ready to figure out what our next project would be, and we called up Doug and asked him if he had any ideas. He just started sending drawings and drawings and drawings, and it was really great stuff, and Tommyknot was the character that came out of that.
He's crash landed on this crazy planet and he's stuck in a fortress called Armikrog. So he's trying to get out along with his sidekick Beak.
Okay, Beak.
Tommyknot, the character, is an astronaut. He's someone that's aspiring to be a hero. He tends to move in what he thinks are heroic poses. So he'll strike a pose because he's seen it before and seen other people in heroic situations act that way, but he's not really feeling it from the inside.
He's the kind of guy who is not quite where he'd like to be in terms of his status as an astronaut.
Yeah, this does not look good.
Michael Nelson of Riff Tracks and Mystery Science Theater fame is the voice of Tommyknot.
Beak. Look at that. What do you make of this guy?
We were looking for somebody that kind of was a little bit of an everyman, played it a little straight. We didn't want any kind of over-the-top performance. And it's actually a really nice counterpart to Tommy's pal Beak, who is Rob Paulson.
Ooh, an omelet.
We had worked with Rob in the past. He always brings so much to the table in terms of personality and even content.
I don't think our pot insurance is gonna cover this. Our deductible is nuts too.
Beak Beak is Tommy's blind alien dog, but he's actually his best friend.
At times, he's kind of the voice of reason, but he's also a wisecracking guy that likes to have a good time.
We'd never done a game where you could switch control between two characters. Tommy and Beaky were such a cool little team together that we wanted to try it where you could switch between the characters and do different things with each character. Beaky's much smaller than Tommy, so obviously he can fit into areas that Tommy can't fit into. Tommy, you know, he's a bigger character, he's stronger, he can push things around. He's got opposable thumbs so he can pick things up. He can climb on things, so he does things that Beaky can't do as well.
Once he was designed, one of the first things we started to do was some pencil test animation, which are hand-drawn animations of the characters, kind of exploring some of their personality, the way they might walk or move.
So once we have a design that we're happy with and it's ready to make the jump from paper drawings to something dimensional, the first step is to create the skeleton for the character. So in stop motion, inside these characters are little skeletons called armatures. We'll design these armatures to fit the proportions of the character that we have in the drawing. I'll mount it to a piece of wood and then sculpt using plasticine what the character is going to look like over that armature. From that sculpt, we make a mold, and then using that mold, we put the armature in the mold and then inject foam rubber into the mold. And when that dries, we paint it with this special, it's called Pax paint, and you get a character like this. He looks like he's made out of clay, and we sculpt it so it looks that way, but this is far more durable than clay.
That gives us a physical puppet that we can bring on set and begin the stop motion animation process. There's this magic when things all start to come together. You've done your animation, you've done your backgrounds, you're putting it in the game, you're seeing everything work together, and it's fun and it's interesting and it looks unique.
And that's how we brought Tommy Knot to life. Hope you enjoy the game. Check it out.
Give me a hand, give me a hand!
All right, so I don't know when the release date is for the game, but it's really exciting. Excuse me. So it says coming 2015, which means, you know, probably not too far off. So Ron mentioned that it looks like Earthworm Jim, and it says here from the creators of Earthworm Jim and the Neighborhood. So that's probably why. But let's see. So I think probably on their Twitter page or their Facebook, they'll probably announce when it will be released. But let's see. It says it's almost here. Eric Newman posted that. He says, I'm super excited because at Armikrog, successor to Neverhood Earthworm Jim, a hashtag game I helped kickstart, is almost here. So what that means, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. And their photos section is here. Okay. So what do you guys think about it? Ron Cole mentions that there's motion blurs and packs. They're foam latex. Yeah, yep, foam latex puppets. And oh, you just got your Google reminder for the show? It's a half hour late. What's wrong with you, YouTube? Mike says, always loved Doug's style and imagination. Earthworm Jim Rat Fist. He has some fun stuff. Yeah, his style is really neat. I don't know if there'd be any clues here. Oh, what is this? Oh, okay. I thought that might be a release date, March 13, but it says join us at SXSW Gaming, March 13 to 15. So, okay. So a beta will be released by then, at least. So maybe not long after that. Maybe they had to just test for bugs. Vendar says, be patient, people. Believe me, making games, good games, is not easy, and it has to take some time to finish it. Beta Armikrog in March, so we will have a final product soon. That's cool. So you guys planning on buying it by any chance? Let's see here. It says yeah. All right. So at least March. But they've got lots of cool pictures on here. I was actually looking at these earlier, and you can see some of their set work here. And by the way, if you're on Facebook, just do a search for Armikrog, Armikrog, to find this. And Sean says, I love playing Earthworm Jim and Neverhood. Looking forward to giving them my money. And Ron says they did a very limited animation. But the style is awesome, and I'm sure that the limited animation was to compensate for more content. Yeah. And I mean, Neverhood was pretty limited as well. I think they were probably trying to match the same animation flow there, because I think, you know, if you're loading up sprites of characters, I think they call them sprites, where there's sort of like a block of images, which you can scroll around and cycle through. I think the more frames you add, you know, so like for a really slow system, if you want to play the game, you probably couldn't. And I don't know what platform, you know, I'm not sure if it's going to be on, like, you know, PlayStation or Xbox or PC. And I know they mentioned PC and Mac, but are they going to release it on, you know, consoles? Not really sure. But it would seem like they could get away with a higher frame rate on a console than something that would be on a PC, where they have to sort of do a one-size-fits-all for slow and fast PCs at the same time. Just technical stuff that I'm kind of wondering about. But so really interesting characters. It says here, bird, bicycle, lizard. Armikrog is a strange place. This guy's pretty neat. Does that kind of remind you of something? Kind of reminds me of that one film. What's it called? Where the guy, he's like a cowboy or something, and I can't remember what it's called, but it looks like a familiar style, actually. It's another photo. So is it a crab? Is it a... What is this guy? Another strange character. Oh wow! So actually, the Beak has a pretty intricate armature inside of him. It's pretty nice. So Jack is mentioning, I guess there isn't too much animated gameplay. More like those books where you decide what happens next. Turn to page. Yeah, that's the basic premise of the game. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure book is what you're talking about. Yeah, because Neverhood is basically like that. It's sort of like a puzzle type game where you can choose to do separate things, and then you know, depending on what you do, you can either move this way, or, you know, to this room or that room, or up or down, or and it seems like what they've done differently in this one is they've added the dog, and Beak, as his name is called, I guess, and I guess so you can sort of use two characters, so there's a lot more possibilities. And so Jack says that I guess there isn't too much animated gameplay, more like this. Oh, sorry, I already read that one. Where was it that I just read that? Well, somebody here mentioned that computers are probably faster. And Ron says one of the clips looked like they were shooting 3D, but that might have been onion skinning I was seeing. Yep, exactly. The choose your own adventure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think this would be 3D. That's my guess, because for a video game, well, I mean, yeah, I guess it could be if you wanted it to be. Trying to think, 3 years ago was the 3D stop motion craze. Yeah, I guess it was, like Coraline and all the other 3D animations that were obviously three-dimensional as well. 3D glasses ready, stereoscopic. Let's see here. Trying to see if there's any pictures where we could tell if it was 3D or not. You can tell if we can find a set picture. Where is this one? No. I guess they're using some... Oh, a box of leftover clay from the neighborhood. Wow. And... Oh, he says that long blue strip of clay is the same kind of clay used on Wallace and Gromit. So that's new plast. It's kind of nice. New plast was very hard, is actually still very hard to get from anywhere. Our supplier actually sells it, and once in a while we get a couple of bars of it to sell on our site through them, but let's see. No cameras here. I don't know. That's all the photos they have. Where was that one picture that we loaded up here? Oops. Well, it looks like the camera is not on any sort of a sliding mechanism. So I don't think it is 3D. I don't believe so. Sean Bloom says it's called point and click. And Ron says it could be like an old Nintendo game where you don't need many images of poses. Yeah, I'm sure the walk and run cycles and stuff are all just repeated over and over again for the characters. But I imagine that what would make that somewhat of an issue is the lighting. It would seem like if the characters go into a dark space, they'd have to have the same cycles and different lighting. So I wonder if maybe what they did is, you know, animated their cycles and then changed their lighting, you know, from dark to light to spotlight or something, sharp light back, you know, rim light, and mixed it up and then had different cycles that they could use. Because they would have to probably streamline that somehow, because I don't think they'd want to reanimate a walk over and over again. It would probably be easier to just change the lighting with maybe some power strips or something, you know, turning off certain lights, turning on others, you know, taking multiple frames. I'd like to know what they're using. I'm thinking they're going to use something like Dragon Frame, but I don't know what kind of software they would use for this. I imagine I could ask Doug in a message, but I didn't think of that. So there's some sound mixing going on here. Not sure what program they're using. Let's see these armatures. It says here the skeleton of a stop motion puppet is called an armature. Here's a box of metal ball and socket armature parts. We used some of these on Neverhood and some of these on Armikrog. Let's see. So Sean says Telltale Games makes a lot of point-and-click games like Sam & Max and The Walking Dead. Oh, okay. Walking Dead is a point-and-click video game. I didn't know that. And Jack Nash says that they could animate a certain loop and repeat on green screen into different environments. Yeah. Well, I think with the sprite type of a file, you'd shoot it in green screen and then you would erase the green. So there'd be no chroma key per se within the video game, if I understand that right. They sort of erase all that, and it's sort of a transparent background around the character, and the image file, of course, would still be like rectangular, most likely, or change shape. I bet $1 million helped them figure out those issues. That's what Ron says. Yeah, I'm sure if you have $1 million, you can figure it out. Okay, so here's a Clayman Earthworm Jim hybrid. I don't know if I like that too much. Yeah. But you can see why the characters are sort of interchangeable, because they do have sort of the same body styles, but one's maybe more muscular than the other. Here's one of the sketches, probably by Doug here. These are old drawings I labeled as Armikrog. I see all of these creatures are blind, just like the Armikrog purple dog thingy. I think these were done around 15 years ago or so while I was still working on the neighborhood. I kind of like this design here. It looks similar to that. If you're watching the video, you notice that there's like a fuzzy orange squared off, character. It wasn't so round like this, but these are really neat designs. Oh, okay, yeah, it says down here by Doug Tenaple. And Jack says they could animate a walk cycle on a turntable and take a shot at different intervals as they rotate the table. Then they could have the character walking in any direction. That's true. Yep. Very true, and that would be kind of a neat idea too to pull off. I know that's been discussed, in a few places, trying to do that for video games. So you can have something like a Sonic the Hedgehog, or something to that, where you can have like a 3D environment and they can go in any direction, up, down, left, right, close, far. That's kind of a neat thing that you can try. And I know that also, what was that game I played a long time ago called Age of Empires, where you used to have these armies of little characters, maybe is it like 16-bit characters that were all similar to what we're talking about, miniature sprites with looped animations, but they took the principle and used that same kind of principle, like a turntable idea, but they used one of the 3D programs. I'm not sure which one, like could be 3ds Max or something, and rendered out all their characters that way, and posed them and took images, screen grabs or something at different angles. Same kind of concept, so it can definitely be done in stop motion for sure. And I know Peter Montgomery, I don't know if he visits here often anymore, but he had a lot of ideas about that too, for doing herds. And I know even Ron Cole, I think we kind of talked about that at one point, where you can do herds of animals by using similar techniques. Yeah, it would definitely save a lot of time to do that way, especially if you have something where you plan to use a walk or run cycle over and over and over and over again, for sure. But yeah, it's a really neat project, and we'll see what comes of it. I know that if you have $1 million, you're probably under a lot of pressure to please your fans, because if you screw up, there might not be a second project for you. But I think people will be satisfied. I mean, if it's kind of like the the formulas in Hollywood, where you have a formula of certain styles of characters, certain music, and certain plots and things like that, and then it's successful before, so it's probably going to be successful again. But I think the thing that they have going for them on this is that that's cool, is that it's more down to earth. It's like they have a direct connection to their fans, as opposed to someone like a big gaming corporation, and they say, hey, let's make this game, and there's a different hierarchy of where the artists aren't really the ones calling the shots. And I think the fact that it's only a trio of artists that are very talented and have so much experience, I think they can pull it off probably better than most corporations could. I won't name any gaming companies, but There are some bad ones out there. So let's see. So we've got follow on Facebook, Twitter, and let's see what's on the Twitter page. Did I load this up already? Yeah, I did. I was just looking at that. So I don't think there's any other links to show. But let's check out their gallery. I kind of wish I could zoom in on stuff like I used to do with live stream. I can't do that on YouTube. But this is very much like the neighborhood. It looks almost identical in style. But you can see, if you look at it, you can tell there's something, you can tell it's kind of like that green screened look to it. Because obviously it is, but like I was saying with the lighting and stuff, that's probably something that I don't know how they would handle that. I kind of like this fuzzy character. But they've got these shadows and everything, which are, some sort of most likely photoshopped in. Now, there's a lot of things, though. A lot of little things that have to come together just to make a character walk across a scene believably. And I think the cut scenes like this one here would be the only time where you see the characters really interacting with the environment in any kind of a wholesome way, if you want to call it that. Where the background is being filmed at the same time. But really neat. See what's here in the press. Nothing else there. Okay. So yeah, if I could buy that, I definitely would. But if you guys want to follow this, of course, I mentioned the name Armikrog over and over again, but armikrog.com, ARMIKROG.com is where you can keep up to date. Maybe they'll post news of where you can buy it when it's released on here, because right now the webpage is pretty sparse, but you can read up on 4 sections, one little webpage. Yeah, Jack, I mean, that's pretty neat. Are you planning to try to do something similar? Maybe you have a film where you could utilize such a technique, I know, what was it, like a Popeye film where they sort of mixed 2D and 3D elements together a long, long time ago, where it's sort of a similar thing where they were placing cells, painted cells, in front of a background, and the background was, like you said, it was on a turntable, but the table was huge, really big, like, maybe 10 foot across, and so they would put like a set in a circular pattern on this big Lazy Susan type wheel, and then they had they had their individual cells which they could replace on the set using like a special hanging cell thing that they put there. It's kind of hard to explain, but let me see if I can find that. Because cells and cell animation, when you get the actual plastic, it's got holes punched in it, and then they have a little let me see here, Popeye, what can I look up here, 3D, no, Popeye 3D is actually CGI, that's not what I'm thinking of. Let's see here. I can't remember the name of that one. It's been so long since I've seen it. But anyway, they tried to solve that in cell animation as well, where you can put 2D characters in 3D spaces, and shadows and things like that are also same kind of issue. Trying to make it believable is really tough because you're essentially pasting it into a scene and it's not really there. So Ron says, Jack, you can use an online app to do that. You take about 50 photos of your object and it will generate a 3D model of it. Let me see if I can find it, he says. Yeah, I've seen those before. Someone used that and said that program doesn't really work quite well. One of my sculptor friends. All right, so we've got about 10 more minutes left to go. Oh, okay. So Mike says the CGI Popeye is actually pretty great. So I've never watched it. That's one of the things I haven't seen. My son and I, and my wife, we all go to the movies and watch cartoons all the time because he's only 6, and I get pretty exposed to animation nowadays. But like I say, it's mostly CGI. But I haven't seen the CGI Popeye before. I might check out some of those videos later on, though. Now, there's my mouse. So we've got about 10 more minutes to go. And Sean, I believe you also posted this as a link, and I thought it would be kind of cool to show. It's called Paint, a short Lego film, and it's a person who paints with Lego bricks. So let's check this out here. Depending on what YouTube wants to do. Oh, I think it might have locked up. Yeah, it did. It doesn't like me anymore. Alright, I'm gonna have to close it. Let me close this. Are you guys able to still hear me, or did my computer completely screw up somehow? Ah, come on. Well, it might be 10 more minutes of this screen that says cheesy bricks. Okay. Looks like things locked up, guys. Oh. Well, I apologize, guys, for the technical issues. It looks like YouTube has crashed on me and caused my computer to do something bizarre, which I don't know what's going on, so I'm gonna have to close all this stuff here. So sorry about that, guys. I do believe that okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I think Flash, it said that Flash has crashed. And you can see here going on. So, let me mute myself so you don't get an echo. But we're going to try to load this again. I'm going to hit refresh and we will try and get through this here together. We can do it. Okay. All right, it's going to work this time. Always fun on the internet. Oop. Okay, here we go. Pretty neat, huh? Very awesome. So a very unique way of using Legos to paint things. Now, I noticed here, let's see, I got a message that said that from Kirsten, and she says that she can't chat during the show. And what do you have to do to chat during the show? Basically, I guess would be the question. Like, what do you need to do? All you need to do is to sign in with your YouTube account, if you have one, and that way you can just chat. You should be able to, on our page. Now, I'm not really sure what page you're watching this on. I'm pretty sure that you can only watch it where I am, and that would be, I don't really know how you would find it other than clicking on our live show page. Let me see here. I'll bring it up for you guys. Yes, I know Adobe Flash crashed. Thank you. And so you want to click on the live show link, and from here you want to click on this banner, and that will just, if all goes well, it should take you to our broadcast page. And when you get there, you'll see our page like this, and from there you want to log into your YouTube account, and you just click on here and you type like hello, and it should work. At least I would think it should work. I don't really know why else you wouldn't be able to chat. I haven't blocked anybody or banned anybody, so I imagine I could, but I don't want to click on these things unless I really have to. But these little flags, but I can look into it. I might see if I have by accident banned anybody, but I don't believe I have. Let me see. No. But I apologize for that to anybody that's not able to chat. If anybody else does have a problem where they can't chat during the live show, just let me know. Send me a message on either Twitter, Facebook, YouTube itself, or on our website, and I'll definitely look into it. But anyway, guys, I do appreciate you all stopping by. It was fun to talk about Armikrog and all the new things that are going on out there. I guess who was it that mentioned that before? Was it you, Mike? We might talk about the future of stop motion in maybe next week or something after we choose our challenge entries. If you guys want to talk about that in particular, like maybe replacement faces, of course, before the live show, just send a message to me again and say, one of the topics I'd like to talk about is replacement faces, and we'll definitely talk about it. So if you guys have anything else you would like to let me know, just of course go to our site, click the contact link here. That would be the easiest way to find me. It's got my email and all our links to our YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook pages. So see you guys all later, and have fun animating.